Welcome back to the Witch Path. This is Solstice Moon. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I found my matron goddesses. I think everybody might find their matron goddesses a little bit differently. For me, a couple of years ago, I was doing, I believe it was a new moon manifestation, a new moon meditation, and I was asking for my matron goddess to make herself known to me, and it was near the end of 2015, I believe. And so I sat and I meditated, and I got these pictures of these long robes, and they were red and there was gold. It definitely had an overtone to it that I wasn't familiar with, which is, it wasn't Greek, it wasn't it wasn't Roman, none of the pantheons that I was familiar with, and it was Asian. So after I meditated, I had written down everything that I saw, and I started a Google search because, hello Google, and I found this one goddess, Amaterasu. And at that time, I think I was resisting because I was so unfamiliar, and I should have just, went with the flow, but I didn't. And I kind of put that off to the side until the beginning of the new year. I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to get the Goddess and Siren Oracle deck, which I did. And I'm going to draw a card at the beginning of the year. So at the beginning of 2016, I sat down, asked for guidance from Goddess to help me find my matron goddess. Like what aspect of Goddess I needed to work with for 2016. And so I drew a card, and I believe the first card I drew was Rhiannon. And I thought, okay. And then I felt this overwhelming need to draw another card. So I drew another card, and it was Bridget. And I was like, okay, awesome. I don't know a lot about Rhiannon, know much more about Bridget, but I just felt like I had to draw one more card. Like, I couldn't put the deck away. And so I drew one more card, and it was Amaterasu. So she was not done with me. And so for 2016, I was honored to work with Amaterasu, Rhiannon, and Brigitte. They taught me immeasurable lessons. They helped me find a strength in myself that I desperately needed. I went on an amazing journey with them in the middle of the year. They are sun goddesses, solar goddesses, and they took me on a journey to the sun. And I had always been much more of a moon girl. Hello, Solstice Moon. But I was given new respect for the sun through them. I learned self-trust. I was given the tools to build my self-esteem, and also had a lot of healing from different things that happened. And I can honestly say that without their lessons, and they were not easy lessons, not always, but without them, I don't think I would be where I'm at right now. And it was an incredible year with them. They were so loving and just this gentle force, which it sounds totally opposite, but it's how I can explain it. It was this gentle force that just guided me and took me to a place within myself that allowed me to become stronger and more sure of myself and what I was doing and what I was working for, what I was working towards. So I had an idea that, I wouldn't always be working with them, and that at the beginning of 2017 I would say goodbye and draw a new matron goddess. I didn't know if I'd be drawing 1 or 3 or 5. It just, I knew that it was something that was going to happen. Now, near the end of 2016, one of the last new moons that we had, the second to last, I believe it was, I was here in my sacred space doing my new moon ritual, and I decided that that night I was going to bring out my black obsidian sphere and do some gazing, which I had never done. I'd had that sphere for months and hadn't used it. So I sat and I gazed, and I saw this rose blooming, and it was so beautiful, and I had no idea what it meant. Like, I understand about roses, they represent love, but I needed, I wanted to know some more. So while I was sitting there, after I did my gazing, after I did my manifestation ritual, I started Googling. Went back to Google and started looking up correspondences for roses, meanings of roses, and I came upon this website, and now I tried to find it so that I could link it below, but I can't find it, which kind of freaks me out. But in the website, it said that roses are often used in spells concerning Aphrodite, Hecate, and Isis. And I thought, okay, that's odd. That's 3 in a row. I didn't ever really think that Hecate would be, similar to or used with roses to honor her. But I thought that it was just kind of weird, and there was some kind of click in me that there was something deeper going on. Now, whether the information on that website was true or not, it led me to these 3 goddesses. And a little worm inside my head started thinking, maybe these are the goddesses you'll be working with in 2017. At that point, though, I really wasn't ready to let go of Amaterasu, Rhiannon, or Brigitte, and I resisted at first looking through this deck to even see if those 3 goddesses were in this deck, because there's quite a few that aren't. It's an interesting mix in this deck. And so after I got off of that website, I thought, okay, I'm going to look in the Oracle deck and I'm going to see if they're in there. So I pull out the deck and I start going through the cards. And I come upon Aphrodite. Okay. Aphrodite, number 1. And then I come to the card of Hecate, and I think, all right. You know, same order. It's kind of freaking me out a little bit. Like, I can, you know, I believe in a lot, and I'm totally open to a lot, but for some reason this was just striking me as odd. And then I keep going through the deck, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe Isis isn't in here. I get to the very last card, and it was Isis. And as soon as I saw her card, I got this message. And it said, our time is coming to an end. It's almost time to say goodbye. And I knew that was from Rhiannon and Brigitte and Amaterasu. I could feel them around me. And I'm not ashamed to tell you that I wept. I cried because they taught me so much. And I didn't want to say goodbye. But they told me it was time. So, over the next few weeks up until the end of the year, I tried to honor them as best I could. And I created this, you guys might have seen, to honor them, just to say thank you, and to always have something in my sacred space to show where I've come from, so that I won't forget. At Yule, when I celebrated Yule with my coven mates, they helped me to release them. And up until the end of the year, I could still feel them. I could still feel them around me, but it was more of, you know, they just wanted to make sure that I was going to be all right. It's this very odd feeling telling all of you this, because, you know, somebody that's not familiar with, you know, what we experience on this path, the amazing things that we get to experience. Somebody just watching this video is gonna go, whoa, she is nutter butters. Like, she is cuckoo. But to people who understand, it's like, yes, yes. So, on the last day of 2016, about 11:30 at night, I didn't go out that night. My husband had to work, and I wanted to stay home. So about 11:30, I took a shower, washed away 2016. I came here to my sacred space where I had completely redone my altar to transition. And I sat and I called to Aphrodite, Hecate, Isis, and I said it over and over and over. And I was alone in the house, so I could get as loud as I wanted to, and I felt this power come over me, and it sent chills along my body. They were there. And they're with me now. That is how I have gone about finding my matron goddesses. I don't know if I'll ever just work with one forever. They may change every year. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's just, I'll be with them as long as I have something to learn from them. But something interesting, at the end of 2016, you know, somewhere around the last few months, I kind of knew a bit, like I felt this niggling feeling of a God presence, that after, you know, that at some point I would be working with a God. And as I sat here on New Year's Eve, after I had called out to Aphrodite, Hecate, and Isis, and you know, felt them arrive, I knew that it was time to draw a God card. And since I had used this deck for my goddesses, I had purchased this deck about 2 or 3 weeks prior, just in case. Just in case. So I went through and I you know, I shuffled and I asked for the God to reveal himself to me. Who did I need to work with in 2017 to reach my highest good? And the card that I pulled surprised me very much. And I'm a bit intimidated to work with this energy, with this patron god, but I'm also very exhilarated and am eager to absorb whatever he has to teach me, and that is Zeus. So I'll be working with Aphrodite, Hecate, Isis, and Zeus this year. I think I have quite a few powerful lessons to learn from them, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that they aren't above me. Like, they get down to me. They come down to me. And it's like I could sit here and have a conversation with them like I'm having a conversation with you. And that's not how it is in other religions, other spiritual paths. So that is the story of how I came upon my patron goddesses and now my patron god. Yeah. Anyway, yes, if you have a story to share with me, please comment below. Let me know how you went about finding your matron goddess, your patron god. How did they reveal themselves to you? And will you always work with them, or do you find that it's sort of the same with me, that when you've learned what you need to know from them, when you've learned what they have to teach you, will they move on? So comment below, let me know. And absolutely would love for you to subscribe if you would. And as always, in love and light, blessed be.